People often ask me where to buy yerba mate and recommendations, and I'd suggest going to supporting a local store or a small business if possible. However, if you're living somewhere where you can't, like I once was, and they just don't offer the yerba that you want, check out Pampa Direct. They have the largest supply of yerba mate that I've seen, and I've learned and tried so many from them before that I've never seen anywhere else. But not only yerba, they also have dulce de leche, alfajores, shirts like jerseys, games and snacks like chocolinas, which is one of my wife's favorite cookies. And I found some really great recommendations on there for beginners, such as Don Eregi, which is something I learned about by just trying different stuff there. And also some of my personal favorites, which is Pipore and Aguantadora Despalada. They have great customer service that speaks English, and in fact, they shipped me another package of yerba for free after they had mixed up one of my orders. And they always include like little, extras, like little candies and stuff, which is really nice. And they ship anywhere in the world, and they offer free shipping here in the U.S. with an order of $50 or more. That may change depending on your country. And as a sponsor of the show, they offer 10% off on your first order with the code POWER. Go to yerbamatepower.com/pampa to place an order. Again, that's yerbamatepower.com/pampa. P-A-M-P-A. Pampa. Thanks. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 33 of the Yerba Power Podcast, where we share the power of yerba mate with the world. My name is Devin. I'm the host of the Yerba Power Podcast. If you're just now joining us, this is going to be something good for beginners, or maybe even people that have been drinking yerba mate, talking about troubleshooting bombillas. If you are new to yerba mate, the bombilla or the bombilla is the straw that you use to drink yerba mate traditionally. It has a filter on the end of it to keep you from getting leaves into your mouth because it filters out the leaves of the yerba mate to be able to drink the water. So, with that being said, one of the listeners' followers, Christine, reached out to me about a message getting leaves, in her mouth through the straw. So, in other words, the leaves are coming through the filter. And I've heard this actually from some of my other friends I've got started before. Toma Osvaldo, that's the owner of Toma Yerba Mate, he actually got a couple messages from some of his people as well, and he featured a video talking about that, which I can put in the show notes for you guys, and anything else I'll put in the show notes. So I want to try to talk through some of the troubleshooting, maybe reasons that you might be getting the leaves through your straw and how to fix that. So Christine, hopefully you're listening to this, and hopefully this helps. And also, if you're had this problem, hopefully this helps you as well. I'll be honest, I can't remember that I've really had that problem and didn't know how to best help. So I reached out to several people, Doma, Danielle from Mate Solutions, a couple people in the Yerba Mate Underground on Facebook, and Alejandra, who is Yerba Mate Sommelier on Instagram. I'll tag everyone in here. And just some of their advice and tips and tricks. And I learned some things, actually, that I want to share with you guys. So first, my generic advice was, not moving the bombilla, because sometimes that can be a problem. Is there's kind of like a suction that you have when you first put in the bombilla, and if you move it, then that can obviously stir up the leaves and, get them through the straw. So that was just my first general advice. So if you're not moving the bombilla, that's where I would start first, to not move around the bombilla a lot, right? And then Toma, he put a video about that getting that, the leaves in your teeth and everything, and that he suggested to pour the water in the same spot. And why you would do that is kind of the same idea, is if the water has, you're pouring in that same area where the bombilla is, and instead of, it kind of has like a pocket there, instead of pouring like all around and kind of making the yerba float all over the place. That makes sense. So Danielle is the owner of the Mate Solutions, and she sells a filter, which actually I've heard about this from one of my other friends that lives in Brazil. It's like essentially a bag that you put around the end of the bombilla. If you've ever seen like one of those mesh bags that maybe using for like cold brew or making like almond milk, if you know what I'm talking about. But it's essentially a very fine mesh bag that you wrap around the end of the bombilla. She sells it in her store. They're out currently when I talk to her, but she plans to get a lot more of those out. They're very popular. I'll link her store in there where you can check for that. And Rick from the Yerba Mate Underground actually shared a hack that I wasn't aware of, is you can wrap a tea bag, like an empty tea bag or a coffee filter around the bottom of the bombilla and then just secure that with like a wire or a rubber band. So essentially just a makeshift filter that you can put around that the end of the bombilla to like an extra layer of filtration. I've never tried this, but I've heard other people that, talk about it, especially with chimarrão, because it's obviously finer. And so I definitely heard of those bombilla filters, which, but like I said, it's not what I've personally learned. So that's why I reached out to the community and that they have taught me that. So Steve, also in Yerba Mate Underground, mentioned about, changing the bombilla. Maybe it's just the bombilla itself, which that's kind of something I was going to talk about. Is there's this type of bombilla, which I'll put like a picture to it because I have it on my Instagram somewhere in there, that it's like a spring on the end of it. So like a coil spring, and it has like a little clasp that you can just unhinge. So it makes it very easy to clean. And also the way it's wound, I've not ever had a problem with filtering with this one. It's one of my favorite bombillas. And so I'm going to link that. And if someone out there in the Yerba Mate community, a store or a person or retailer makes these type of bombillas, please let me know. I would love to connect with you because I haven't seen many of these in the people that sell. Now, Alejandra from Yerba Mate Sommelier, she mentioned about, cleaning the bombilla, which is a good point. You could have some old yerba stuck in there, which I'll be the first one to admit I don't clean my bombillas as much as you should. And for how to clean the bombillas, I made a video about that was pretty popular. I'll link that in here as well. I'm going to redo it as well to make it a little bit better. But basically what you just need is something to boil water in, baking soda, and then just put your bombillas in, a pot or a pan of boiling water with baking soda in it. Let it sit in there for about, 15, 30 minutes or so. And then you use a pipe cleaner or a zip tie, which is another kind of hack, to clean on the inside of the bombilla. And you just kind of shove it down into the bombilla and scrape it out on the inside, essentially, and gets all the old, I guess to hate to say residue, basically, of, drinking yerba. And don't be surprised with all the brown water that you'll have after doing that. But yeah, cleaning the bombilla very well is something she suggested. And also, like the one, how I mentioned with the spring, but sometimes a lot of the bombillas come as one whole piece. And what she was recommending is one of the bombillas that you can take apart, which the one when I was talking about is like the easiest by far, because you can literally just unhinge the clasp and it's good to go, good to clean, and like simple. The other ones are kind of like that light bulb looking circular filter on it. And a lot of those that used to be all the time, not so much anymore, I've seen, but you can unscrew them and take them apart. Just the filter part at the very bottom. And a lot of times, especially down at the very part of the filter, it'll be kind of almost caked with residue. So something to scrub very well in there as well. And so those would be just some of the basic tips that, I learned, as well as sharing what other people had learned and how to kind of prevent or maybe just not get the yerba, up through your filter, up through your straw into your mouth. So try some of those troubleshooting tips, techniques in there. See if that works. If you have other comments or suggestions or questions, at all, questions about anything, leave me a voice message. I have a SpeakPipe account where you can send a voice message. I'll filter you. Filter, think of Bombilla. I'll feature you in the next episode and try to answer some of those questions for people. And also would love to hear any shout outs, recommendations, anything at all that you'd like to say. I'll put the link to the SpeakPipe account. You can click on there and record a voice message. It'd be great to have community and you guys involved. And once again, all the show notes, everything will be down in here in the description. And also, if you have any other tips, that's what I was going to say. If you have other tips or techniques or things that we didn't discuss about this troubleshooting your bombilla, please let me know. I'd love to share your wisdom and knowledge. Again, you can write me on Instagram or SpeakPipe. I would love to have other featured people, in the community on the episode. So hope that helps, get your bombilla unstuck or to not get leaves, help you enjoy yerba mate more, because that's kind of one of the things is getting people to start and then helping people to really enjoy it, to, maybe not get so overwhelmed with getting started. And it's kind of part of the mission here at Yerba Power Podcast, sharing the power of yerba mate. So getting people to like it and enjoy it. And thank you all for listening. If you haven't already, I would be really appreciate it if you follow, subscribe, to wherever you're listening to this podcast. It helps with the rankings. Leave me a rating. I'm going to start trying to get some swag together, be able to give away for things like this. So be on the lookout for that. I'm just working up trying to get a store on the website, which is yerbamatepower.com. I redid my website, yerbamatepower.com, trying to make it more appealing from what it was before and easier to find things. So let me know what you think. Check it out. Thank you all. Have a great one. Till next time.